Let's go. Come on, family. Go get to it. Our nation in the building. We had a good day. I can fill my glass tonight, baby. I'm coming with it. Y'all know how we do. Shout out to the crew. I see y'all coming in. I'm about to drop that link. Hold tight for me. Hey, listen, man. It's the Love of the Game podcast. Let's go. Hey, man, we in here. We in here. I see y'all starting to file in, man. We in here. What a great day. What a great day for our nation, man. What a great day. Hey, man, we got a lot to talk about today, man. I'm going to try to put y'all on with some game. We're going to have some fun. I know how I start this thing, man. I didn't have a so elegant of a dinner tonight. I kept it cool. I kept it classy. It was well, actually, no, I didn't. I didn't at all. It was 2 turkey club sandwiches is what I Oh yeah, that was dinner, man. 2 turkey club sandwiches, but I did not have my glass of wine until I could celebrate with the family and friends. So, hey, man, everybody raise your glass. It's good to see y'all. We made it through another day, and no matter what happened, we get to celebrate tonight, man. Cheers. Let's go. Here we go. Wow day on Twitter. Wild day. But listen, if you've been listening to this show, what I told you what happened and everybody laughed at me, exactly what I said was going to happen, happened. Oh, they said Mondre was feeling too elegant. He had too good of a night. A little too much wine. No, man. 1 glass a night. That's it. 1 glass. Exactly what I said was going to happen. Down to the T. Exactly what I said. I love when a plan comes together. I always tell y'all, I never claim to know everything. A lot of information that comes to me could be wrong. I always say that. Don't I say that? All the time I say that. But man, when I tell you in Overton we trust, woo. Oh, hey, listen, man. I don't know if y'all picking up what he putting down. But we playing chess, not checkers, big dog. Woo! We playing chess, not checkers. Our guy is getting to it. Our nation will live on. Hey, man, look, listen. I'm going to show you a couple of things tonight. Just because I want you to understand, like, I want you to understand the type of people that I believe are in play, right? What's good? We in the building? Yes, sir. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, got to give you a couple of gunshots, big dog. We got to go. Hey, man, look, I'm so excited about how this whole hiring process is playing out. I am so excited about how this whole oh my goodness. Okay, look, I'm just going to give you a little bit, and then I'm going to get to something, and we're going to come back to the culture search. But I'm going to give you a little bit first, right? Let's talk about some of the names that have been thrown out. Let's talk about some of the names that have been thrown out. Let's talk about some of the names that we've heard. I said on one of my when I picked up this topic last week sometime, and I said on this show, and everybody laughed. I made a joke of it, but I was serious. I was being funny, but I was being serious. I said, listen, we've all been in relationships, right? We've all had relationships end, and sometimes those relationships are painful, right? Everybody wanted Overton to just move on, move quickly. You don't jump from one relationship into the next relationship. You don't jump from one relationship into the next relationship. Man, you at least got to date a little. You got to date a little. You got to get around a little bit. What did I say? What did I say last week? Overton's going to use the search firm like Tinder. You got to see who likes you back. You got to see who likes you back. And boy, are we in a different position. Woo! Are we in a different position today than we've been in years past? Because boy, when we created that little Tinder profile, when we jumped on Plenty of Fish, I believe Overton went all the way. I think he went all the way. It was Farmers Only. It was Christian Mingle. It like he created all the profiles. We dated a little bit. We went to the club a couple of times. We enjoyed a few nights out with the fellas before we decided to actually pull ourselves in and go back to the original list that we had from jump. I ain't mad at it. Because when's the last time people lined up, quality coaches lined up to come take this job? Think about the names that we've had mentioned for this position. No scrubs. No scrubs. Come on, man. Quanzo Martin. Come on, man. Yasir Roseman. Do you know what type of the cloth that names like that are cut from? Like I told you. Hey, listen, I put Quanzo Martin in another stratosphere. I put him off to himself. And if you've ever heard him speak, teach, or talk basketball, you would 100% understand why. However, Coach CY was Beyonce. Coach CY, the associate head coach from Missouri, is Beyonce. And guess what? I got interview footage to show you exactly why I'm saying what I'm saying. He's different. But I also said, Yasir Roseman was Rihanna. y'all better watch out. You better watch out. You better watch out. If you haven't put down the 50 measly dollars it takes to purchase your season tickets, I got smoke. I got smoke. It's $50. That's Chick-fil-A. Hey, man, y'all might be going solo, but when me and my kids go Chick-fil-A, if I got to buy for me, the wife, and the kid, bro, it's $50. Like, come on. Come on. $50 is the deposit for senior ticket, for season tickets. If you haven't purchased yours already, with the names that have just been mentioned for this job, if you haven't already purchased your season tickets, I don't, like, what else is it going to take? We're going to have to bring Coach K out of retirement and he's going to have to take the job? Like, the names that have been mentioned: Charlton Young, Beyonce, Yasir Roseman got floated. His name got floated for this position from multiple sources. He is the associate head coach at Indiana. Do you realize whose recruitment he's been involved with? I'm going to show you. Hold on. I'm going to show you the caliber player that a guy like Yasir Roseman has been responsible for recruiting. They have resurrected that program in Bloomington. The fact that we're even being mentioned should tell you the level. You will never see the flex offense again. You will never see the flex offense again. Come on, man. How can you not be excited about this? Okay, wait. I got something for you. Hold on. Y'all know how I do. Ain't no cap in my rap. I got proof. Yasir Roseman's name was mentioned for this position. I'm just going to show you where the program has elevated itself to. And the reason why I'm spending so much time on this is because we got to go with it. We got to go with it. We got to bring the excitement that these coaches are having, lining up to be a part of what we're doing. They're lining up to be a part of it. Check this out. This is Bronny James. I know we've all heard of him, right? Versus Ja'Kai Newton. We're talking about top 50, top 100 level kids. Bronny was a McDonald's All-American. Had Ja'Kai not been injured, he had a knee injury that hampered his senior season, would have been a McDonald's All-American without question. Hey, that boy Bronny a bucket in real life. I'm telling you, in real life, he can shoot the ball in real life. Shout out to Baller's Life. Or you, so whatever you say. I was at this game, by the way. Shout out to SUV TV. I was at this game, live broadcast, doing play-by-play. Wait a minute. They didn't show Jakai warming up. Is this going to be one of them things where you only show the highlights from one kid? Ball is life. Y'all are not clout chasing like that, are you? Come on now. Hey, I hate when they do this. I hate when they do this because this game did go to overtime and they pulled it out. But early on in this game, them boys from Newton County were thrashing LeBron and his team. I hate when they do this. That's Braden Pierce, by the way, another Georgia kid that we allowed to slip out of the state, go to post grad at IMG, and he is now committed to the University of Maryland. Probably could have got him, but I digress. Here's Jakai Newton right here. That is the caliber of player that Yasir Roseman recruits. That. Hey, man, and his name has been in the mix as the new head coach for Kennesaw State. His name has been mentioned. I'm not saying he's the new head coach. He's been mentioned. This is the level of kid that he recruits. I mean, superior athlete. Superior athlete. Like, that is not a game. Knee injury and all. When he was sitting out, not playing, still was able to, they had to run. He's the type of kid. They had to tell him and have people watch him so that he would not come into the gym and work. He was still going between the legs, East Bay and Duncan, while he was injured and not supposed to be playing. That athletic. That athletic. The only thing the kid knows is work, 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 work. He is, I'm not even going to go there. He's very good. Very good. That is the type of level of coaches that are being mentioned for the Kennesaw State head men's basketball coach. When is the last time we've had this level consistently across the board of all the names that are being mentioned? When's the last time the level has been this high? We talked about Chad Dollar. Chad Dollar was a part of the staff that brought Ant-Man to Georgia. We talked about Charlton Young, his impact at Florida State. I've got interview footage. I'm going to show you more about his impact and the type of person he is. Now we're talking about Yasir Roseman. They are rebuilding what it is to be an Indiana Hoosier. That is not easy to do. And they're recruiting kids at this level. It's already, for those that are waiting for it to happen, I'm just trying to tell you, it's already happening. The change you've been waiting for is already happening. The only thing I'm doing is encouraging you to be a part of it. We're on another level. We're on another level. We're already on another level. You know, sometimes for those kids, and I know for Braden, the extra year really helped him. You know, sometimes people can't see what you're going to be ultimately. And I think that was the case with Braden Pierce. It's like I talk to coaches all the time, and they're talking about high school kids. And I get the question that coaches ask me the most now about high school kids is like, is he an impact player? Can he come in and help us from day one? And I'm like, no, he's a freshman. He's we all knew what Chris Youngblood and what Stroud were as players, but they weren't winning us the ASUN as freshmen. College basketball is hard. College basketball is hard. So no. So sometimes people get discouraged from taking a kid like Braden because he can't come in and be this huge difference maker day one. Well, I come from a time where almost nobody could as a freshman. Somehow we've fooled ourselves to thinking that freshmen are supposed to win. I challenge that way of thinking. Tell me how many teams are winning with freshmen versus how many teams are losing with freshmen. Because everybody looks for the exception to the rule, Arkansas, Duke, Kentucky, and say, oh, well, they able to be successful with freshmen. Well, most people lose with freshmen, and they develop those freshmen into players. That's what we just did. Terrell Burton needed development. Chris Youngblood needed development. Brandon Stroud needed development. But from a fan base perspective, the reason why coaches are turning to the portal so much and to JUCO so much, because we're not knowledgeable enough about who they're recruiting to give them the time they need to develop that and cultivate that talent. Not blaming it all on us. They got to do the development. They got to do the work. These kids have to get better. You have to see a kid that shoots 25% from three, go up to 32% from three, to 36 or to 40 or wherever he gets at the end of the rainbow. Will we see that constant development? Will we ride it out and see it through? This is going to be a trend that you hear from me tonight. Are you ready for the ride? Are you ready for the ride? Because depending on how this decision goes, and from what I'm hearing, depending on how this goes, it could be a little bumpy for a second. Have no fear. Cheers, everybody. Have no fear. One of my good friends, Coach Cabral Huff, says you got to find it. You got to recruit it. You got to sign it. And you got to develop it. It's the reason why his players get better year over year. Voorhees men's basketball, taking Georgia kids and getting them better year over year over year. And that means winning. After a while, you stockpile so much talent that ends up developing, you end up with what they call depth. Depth. You don't have these issues where you start to say, well, what do we do if such and such fouls out? Because now you start to have depth. But it takes time if you're going to develop. We allowed Coach Amir to develop. Stroud was not Defensive Player of the Year on day one. He developed. It takes time. Now, the list of names started to get crazy. Man, I even heard Sam Mitchell. Sam Mitchell. Yes, that's Sam Mitchell. Everybody wants a piece now. JUCO coaches applying for the job. Everybody wants to be a part of it now. But we got some really good names. Antoine Dean Reynolds, the associate head coach at the University of Georgia. He's an Atlanta guy. From the city. We talked about Coach Dollar. I'm still hearing that Coach Dollar is a finalist. I hear he's been on campus. Antoine Petway. Responsible, a major part of Colin Sexton's recruitment to Alabama. A major part. Antoine, I'm going to tell you how good Antoine Petway is. Petway is so good. That he survived like 4 different coaches at Alabama. They tell the incoming coaches, hey, this one's staying with you. Condition of taking the job. He's a part of it. Hey, that's another that's another level of good. And coaches don't complain about it because they understand how valuable he is to any program. It's a heck of a recruiter. Now, can we get past him being an Alabama guy or no? We gotta ask. That's a question that we gotta ask ourselves. That's something you gotta look right down the center and make that decision. Can we get past it or no? I hear the Coach Kimball. I hear the Coach Kimball thing is a real thing. I have not heard him mentioned as a finalist, but I do know that he was on campus, and I was told that is something real there, that was not for play. That was not for play. I was told directly that was not for play. That was a real thing. Remember when I told y'all, I believe it was last night. Hey man, don't let us get a coach with some shoe ties. Don't let that happen. Remember I said that? Anybody know who we have our shoe contract with? There's game issue. You want the top players, you got to run in a certain circle. I keep saying this. You can think the head coach is whoever. You can think that all you want. If you want the top players, you got to run in a certain circle. You got to have certain connections. There's certain politics that goes on involved that. And I'm not talking about anything illegal. I am talking about relationships. I am talking about who trusts you. Who do you have long-standing relationships with? Not, hey, nice to meet you. I want to talk to that kid right there. It's not how this works. Watch out for the name Corey McCray. Watch out for that name. When your family's involved with founding the Celtics, the Atlanta Celtics, there's a lot of juice. It's a lot of juice that comes with that. When your family's involved with the founding of one of the best AAU programs that has ever existed, more pros than almost anybody that has ever done it without question in Georgia. When your family's a part of that, some juice there. It's some juice there. We do wear Adidas. Atlanta Celtics wear Adidas. I mean, y'all do with that information what you want. A lot of great names. A lot of great names. I ain't gonna put that out there yet, but I did hear something that kind of upset me. But we're not gonna talk about that tonight. I'll see what happens. I'm hearing decision by Friday, at the latest by Tuesday. So I could wake up tomorrow and we got a new coach. At the latest by Tuesday. So right now, let me tell you what's happening. Every coach that's been notified that they're a finalist is now assembling their staff. They're making their phone calls to the people who they care about, to the people who they trust, and saying, hey, coach, I need you to come with me. If this happens, I want you to come with me. Coach, will you come? And I say yes or no. And I'm talking about from the lead assistant all the way down to ops, video coordinator, or whatever that may be. They're assembling those staff. Typically what happens, most coaches try to find an offensive assistant, a defensive assistant, and you got to have ops. Offensive assistant, defensive assistant, and you got to have ops. Those conversations have to start happening. They have to start getting on the same page. There is a ton that goes into that, right? And see, this is the issue that people have with not hiring Ben Fletcher as the head coach. Okay? Number one, it's the possible transfers that could happen if Ben is not the head coach. Okay? That is a scary thing. So I thought about it and I asked myself, what if Overton is fearless? What if he doesn't fear who may leave? We talked a lot about legacy. We talked about hiring a coach for legacy. We talked about not being a stepping stone job. We talked about hiring the guy that was going to be here for the next 10 years, the next 15 years. So what if he's not afraid of what happens next season? My question then comes to are we? See, because if you hire somebody outside of Fletcher and Burden, Robinson, and Cottle walk out the door, let's just face the facts. Let's just face the facts. Regardless of how great the coach is, that's a tough ask. You're losing, at that point, you're losing almost everybody that had. Quincy would be the only person, with Quincy and Cole will be the only two people with real experience. Like, what are you doing in the Sun Belt at that point? Yeah, we could get into the portal. Yeah, we're going to get into recruiting and all that stuff. And we're going to get kids. I have no doubt that all the names that mentioned are going to be able to get kids. But those kids are playing in a new conference. This coach is coaching in a new conference. The staff is coaching in a new conference. You got to learn to scout. Everybody has to learn on that staff is going to have to learn their roles and responsibilities from scratch. It's not like whoever we hired that these guys have been coaching together already. There's continuity that needs to be made up. I'm not saying it's impossible. People do it. But it's a tough ask. to coach 1 year in the ASUN, and then the next year you're in Conference USA, which is a totally different level of basketball. Which is why I've said if we hire a new coach as a fan base, we need to be supportive as possible and understand that next year we're probably just scrapping next year. We're probably just saying, come in here, coach. Let's start recruiting. Let's start building for Conference USA next year. Get your staff together. Let's get your offensive terminology together, your defensive terminology together. Let's learn how we're guarding what as best we can, and then start preparing for Conference USA the following year. Your travel routine. Let's talk about that too. How you want to travel between the ASUN and Conference USA. Even that is going to be different. So I would say if we hire a new coach, if we hire a coach outside of Fletcher, that means we're going to be fearless. We're saying that we're not going back to the NCAA tournament next year because if everybody transfers, we're not winning the ASUN. We may struggle year one in Conference USA. Coach, we want to see progress in year 3. Are y'all really ready to stomach that? I'm just here to keep it a buck. I'm just here to keep it a buck. I'm not saying my preference. I'm asking your preference. I'm asking your preference because I seem to remember that a lot of people couldn't stomach that in the first 2 years for the previous staff. We gotta understand that we're, if we make this move and we hire another coach outside of Fletcher, we're building for the future. Now, am I saying it's impossible? Am I saying it? No. Am I saying that if we don't hire Fletcher, everybody is definitely leaving? I'm not saying that. However, I am saying you have to understand the bond that this staff had with these kids. So I'm going to tell you a secret. Most head coaches that you love, that you think are so awesome and great, most of those head coaches are really horrible people. Like, let's just keep it a buck. Let's just keep it a buck. Most of these head coaches that we love so much because they're terrific at coaching basketball are not good humans. See, we hired in Amir and that staff the exception to the rule. Those kids are super, super loyal to him and this staff because they've been shown love and they've been shown loyalty. We're talking about a coach. Rick Pitino got hired at St. John's. I've used this example before. Rick Pitino got hired at St. John's. Correct me if I'm wrong, but nobody from Iona come with him to St. John's. Matter of fact, he told the kids that was ain't at St. John's, get in the portal because this ain't gonna work. It's business. I'm not saying he's a horrible human being for it. I'm saying it's business. When players have left this Kennesaw State program, coaching staff was trying to help find them places where they could play. Not every coach do that. They just, hey, get in the portal, figure it out. When Amir left and went to South Florida, he got 2 kids coming this weekend. Good. Good. You should have some loyalty to the kids that you recruit. Didn't surprise me from Kennesaw State. As soon as Amir gets the job, you get 3 kids immediately. His day ones jumped in the portal. We going too. And I don't think nothing wrong with that. It's a different type of loyalty. It's a different type of loyalty, a different type of love. He took care of those guys. He could have said, hey, I need bigger, I need fat, I need whatever. Nah, they stuck together. To me, that says something, and I feel like it's a good thing. So nothing would surprise me as far as who gets in the portal if we move away from this staff. But I did have to ask myself the question, what if Milton Overton is fearless? Are we fearless? Are we fearless? How much do we weigh continuity? How do we weigh that? How important is that? The program is running well. The old saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's a lot to think about. It's a lot to think about. When we think about, do you make a change or do you not? But it's got to be tempting because there's a lot of great names on the table right now. A lot of really, really good names on the table right now. I'm going to show you something because in this interview, the sales pitch that I've been saying needed to be used is discussed. And it's explained in a much better way than I could ever explain it. So I want to shout out to my guys. I believe it was Coach Huff that made this interview happen, but I can't remember that for sure. I want to shout out to my guys for making this interview happen. I want to shout out to SUV TV for the platform for making this interview happen. But I also want to introduce you to somebody I think is very special in this game. This is Coach CY. I did an interview with him some years ago, and this is Coach CY talking about his career at Kennesaw State. No. Any chance Fletcher stays on with any of the names listed? Any previous relationships? Maybe Petway. I don't think so. I think if he's not the head coach, I think he sticks with his head coach, which is Amir, and I would not blame him for that. The kids are not only loyal, but the staff is very loyal to each other, although there'll be some shakeout. And yeah, I'm not talking about that. We'll see. You'll know after it all plays out. But Fletcher is an Alabama guy. Petway is an Alabama guy, maybe. I think it would be smart. But I don't know that happens, because what this staff just accomplished is probably one of the toughest, one of the biggest rebuilds in college basketball. The level of difficulty, we talked about that last night. The level of difficulty was extremely high. Let's not act like when that staff first got here, just the academic issues alone that we had, the APR problems were unreal. And before they could fix the basketball, you had to fix all that. But I do think that Fletcher goes with Amir if we don't make him the head coach. I've not spoke with Ben Fletcher. I'm waiting for my chance to interview him. He's the one person on the staff that I didn't know as well. So I'm really looking forward to sitting down and having a conversation with him. So, but I didn't want to do that before all this played out. But I don't see that happening. I would be happy if it did. All right, here we go. I'm going to show this. I'm not going to play the entire interview, We're going to go for maybe about 8 minutes. And I'm going to stop it. But I need you guys to hear this. Spotter of NBA talent, or maybe I should say developer of NBA talent. I don't know which one should get more credit. Their ability to spot or your ability to develop. We have Florida State assistant head coach Charlton Young in the building with us. My man.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. My pleasure to be here.
Affectionately known to the Georgia basketball community as CY. Currently at Florida State. Let's get to the real first, man. Let's start it out early, brother. Like, we want to know about these NBA kids that you guys are producing at Florida State right now. I feel like people are sleeping on y'all right now as far as when they look at Kentucky and their NBA guys or Duke and their NBA. Well, y'all got some of y'all own that y'all put in, man. Let's talk about that first.
I appreciate it. First, I want to say to all you guys, we were talking off camera. I say this everywhere I go. You know, respect is the ultimate currency. Not money, not jewels, respect. And I've been following the podcast and watching the podcast, and what you guys are doing for the game in Atlanta is unbelievable. Iron sharpens iron. Y'all got everybody talking. You got everybody getting better. And every kid is going to get more of an opportunity because you guys are kind of turning the crock pot on. And I had when I saw it, I said, I got to come be a part of it. I got to come be a part of the smoke. Where the smoke at? That's where I want to be. So you guys are big time for basketball. But back to your original question, Florida State and the guys that we've been developing. Jalen Hamilton, I think, is obviously the premier African-American head coach in the country, but not just talking about color, but one of the best CEOs and head coaches in the country.
Let's talk about it, yeah.
Not many people know that, and I don't know why, because of the consistency. Florida State basketball has operated under probably in the last 17 years since we've been there. But we obviously, there's a certain type kid that we pigeonhole. We like size and position. We like athletic ability. And then skill is third for us. We feel like if they have the right character and they are gym rats, we can get them the skill, but we want dinosaurs. You know, don't bring me somebody short and strong, I can't make long. Right. Bring me somebody long, I can make strong. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, really digging into their background and their character and their families and, you know, high character gym rats. Everybody's not a gym rat. Everybody don't love the game like the guys is up here. And so we've been fortunate to identify some guys that really love the game and want to get better. And I think that's been the success.
You certainly have a few that are playing pretty well in the league right now.
Proud of them.
We just saw Bacon get off, right, and do his thing. But I think when you talk about character and resilience, right, like you got a kid like that who was tested early in the league, right, that where, you know, like we talked about this lock off air too, where guys I always respected guys in the NBA that get challenged and early, right? Have a couple other players picked alongside of them. And it's like, okay, yeah, you were first round or you got this draft status, and now we're going to pick a couple other guys and see who kind of survives and shakes out. Like you got a kid, Malik Beasley, who survived on a tough roster to make it on right now too, Huff. Like, but that tells me a lot about how well a kid has been coached and about the mental makeup of that kid to be able to survive that. If Bacon's kind of come out, I feel like he's gonna shake out at Charlotte.
Yeah, he's turned the corner. The first 2 years were rough.
Yeah.
But he's a guy that kind of got it out the mud. Didn't play on a major shoe team. Played for Showtime. Had a loyal gene. Stayed in the same place. with Showtime and Diana Neal. Could have gone play for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Stayed there, got better, and he's always been resilient. And the same thing we offered him in 8th grade. I've been recruiting the boy since 1964, since he was born. and when he blew up, he had Kentucky, he had all these people, and he was loyal to Florida State and to the relationship with Coach Hamilton and our staff. And he's one of those guys, when he gets in a situation, he's loyal to it. He's loyal to the Hornets. In his mind, I'm going to retire in Charlotte. I'm not trying to go somewhere. Yeah. He believes in what they're doing, and he's going to work his butt off to become the face of the franchise. And consistent behavior says he's going to do it. He did it for Showtime. He raised the level. He did it for our program in Florida State. He's raised the level of our recruiting. It's interesting that you bring up Dwayne Bacon. You know, we've had a bunch of pros. We've had, you know, Malik Beasley. We've had Jonathan Isaac. We had Terrence Mann. We had Kamageli. We had Okaro White and Al Thornton and Tony Douglas. We've had a lot of guys. Yep. But when I go out on the road recruiting, the guy that kids ask me about the most is Dwayne Bacon. Mm-hmm. You know, they love Dwayne Bacon.
His IG presence is pretty
home team sports, the videos that they put out on the internet has really made him a household name.
I think the kid's gonna get it done. Like when I see that again, like I said, with Bacon, with Beasley, Jonathan Isaac has been in that position. Mm-hmm. Like them guys is on teams that got some talent and got some talent around their position and have been able to navigate and dig that through. What are those practices like for those kids, like that, those experiences of getting them from kind of that raw high school athlete or player and then kind of forming them into that pro player? What is that process like?
Well, let's talk about Malik Beasley first, Coach Huff's guy. I came over years ago. Huff grabbed my pants leg as soon as I walked in the gym. And he said, listen, they talking about this guy, they talking about that guy, but that's the one. Now, he was in 9th grade. He was in 9th grade.
Wow.
He said, that's the one. Now, nobody could fake the sincerity I saw in his face when he told me, that's the one.
Yeah.
I said, I'll be here every other week. So I kept coming, and the other guys over there, I mean, Kobe Simmons, Kaiser Gates, he was kind of overshadowed. They were ball dominant. Yeah. But what I loved about him and what's a big key to kids making it to the next level is, can you be a great player and be a non-ball dominant guy?
That's difficult for a lot of people.
See, a lot of people don't. Now, a lot of parents, I want my son to have the ball in his hand. I got to go somewhere with the ball in his.
Hey, see, here's the reason why I'm doing this. This conversation that they're having, I hope you're picking up the game that's being put down, right? So we can start to understand what we're seeing. Two great coaches, one high school coach and Coach Huff, that is now coaching at the NAIA level, which people have to understand how good the coaching is at some of these levels, and CY are having a conversation about a freshman who was not the man on his team, and are having a conversation and say, that's the pro. Malik Beasley was a lottery pick. They identified that in the 9th grade. When you talk about CY, who is the godfather, who is the OG, who's the GOAT, right? But then right under him, you have somebody who's been mentioned for the job here in Yasir Roseman. The ability to spot talent before everybody else. Y'all don't really understand. The time that CY was at Florida State, University of Louisville had a losing record to Florida State. So did Duke. If COVID doesn't step in, they probably win a national title. But when you look at the guys that went lottery from Florida State, and this is why I like them so much, when you look at the Mike Beasleys, the Devin Vessels, those guys from Georgia that ended up going lottery, these were not highly recruited guys. You got to get a coach that's connected. You got to get a coach that knows what he's looking at. You can't give all the credit sometimes to the head coach. You got to know who's getting the work done.
His hand.
They don't
But
wanna
I'm
hear that.
telling you, if you was LeBron, if you was Kevin Durant, we would know already. We would have got the email.
Yeah.
So everybody else is just regular.
Right.
And if you regular, which ain't bad,
Right.
you got to find a way to be able to affect the game in a non-ball dominant way. So I would go and watch, and I would be amazed. Malik Beasley always was a gorilla.
Yeah.
From the beginning, he was a gorilla. They didn't know it,
Right.
but every time I went over to see him, my alarm started going off. I
Yeah.
said, when he was in the 9th grade, he ain't no plays running for him. These boys jacking up the ball. He got deflection, back tip,
Yeah.
tip dunk, run the lane.
Yeah.
Everything was in the flow of the game. And if you watch the game, he had 22 points, 7 rebounds, 4 steals, 2 blocks.
We're almost to the end of this.
On the ball.
Hang tight. 4 minutes. Hang tight.
Hey man, this almost feel like when we had Dez on one side and Mario Mays on the other side, and I feel like it was raining diamonds on top of my head, man. Hey,
So,
you said
the great pros, guys who are going to make it to the NBA that's coming out the grassroots level right now,
yeah,
Here it
are
is.
guys that can affect the game,
without the ball.
non-ball dominant. I had a kid named Terrence Mann at Florida State. I signed him. Everybody laughed at me.
Lottery
They
pick.
laugh at me all the time.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a kid. I can have that
Laugh
Go,
at
go,
you
go.
for Terrence Mann.
Coach, they laughed at me for Tony Douglas. They laughed at me for Tony Terrence Mann. I mean, I know when I offered Malik,
He's talking about pros from Georgia, not Terrence Mann, but Tony Douglas, Malik Beasley, Devin Vett. Like he's talking about pros that he came to Georgia to go get.
it was Sanford and maybe College of Charleston. So I tried to hide.
Now imagine Sanford and College of Charleston. Are those not the types of schools that we're recruiting against right now for a kid? See, y'all, and this is what I keep saying, man, because you can't think that Kennesaw State can't be the next powerhouse. There are pros that don't show up on those ranking sheets. Don't be fooled.
I tried to hide. They said, "You over here to see Kobe Simmons?" I said, "I like him over there. Not here to see him."
Yeah.
But I didn't want to tell them who I was there to see. But Terrence Mann, I saw as a 9th grader, and I went to see him, and his own mother was like, he won't shoot. He's terrible. His own mama. I said, don't worry about it. He's a pro. I saw him. He had 9 points, 13 rebounds, 6 steals, 4 blocks. He got into a tussle with a guy under the basket. He was a freshman, and the ball went up. And the guy had him like this, and he couldn't get it. He reached up like this, and he tapped it to his teammate under the basket. He laid it up. I said, scholarship. I said, scholarship. Go.
Whoa.
I knew
As a 9th
he was
grader.
a pro.
As a 9th grade.
Yeah, so he was about 6'4", long neck, big head, body was kind of gangly. I said, if he eats some Whoppers, do some push-ups,
Yeah.
grow about an inch and 2 inches, pro.
Pro.
See, when you see these kids, it's not who they are, it's what they're gonna be.
Become. Right.
See, that's why I don't get excited, baby. Everybody loves, oh, he's the number 1 8th grader, number 1 9th grader in the country. That's the worst thing that happened to you, Coach.
Here we go.
Man,
See,
let's
the only
talk.
thing
Here
you
we go.
get for being the number 1 8th grader is to go to the 9th grade. That's all you get. That's all you get to do.
Yeah.
You number one ninth grade in the country. All you get to do, go to the 10th grade.
Go to the 10th grade.
Yeah. So you want them, they're gonna blossom at the right time. See, the late bloomers are the ones that really, you know what I mean?
We
That
talking about
really-
development.
Yeah, go.
We talking about what happened with Youngblood, what happened with
I see the
Stroud.
ones in the 8th, 9th grade, coach. By the time they're in 11th grade, now they fade to black.
They peek out.
It happens all the time, and everybody get excited about them. So I'm not looking for the 8th, 9th graders with them big burly bodies. I'm like, whew. I want the one with the long, skinny one with the with the skinny neck,
Yeah.
no hair on his face, 2 strings on his chin.
So,
You know?
so we're talking about that, and that brings me to a guy I think is finna blow up for you guys this year, Mr.
Go ahead, say his name.
Devin
Devin
Vassell.
Ooh, Devin Vassell, coach.
People laugh when he
They
got that
laughed
offer.
when he, they laughed.
They laughed at me.
Right out of Peachtree Ridge.
Florida State.
Oh,
He
pro.
I
outraged.
was in a
Lottery pick.
recruiting war with Presbyterian. So I was fighting off North Florida.
Good
Coach,
grief.
I knew it. First time I saw him, 8 minutes. Said, stop the scrimmage. I reached out his hand. I said, son, you want a scholarship to Florida State? He was trembling like that. I said, yes, sir. I said, where your mom at? Coach, but when he committed to us, see, at Florida State, we're an ACC program, but
Hey, this is important right here. This is the whole reason why I wanted to play this. So for everybody that stayed on, you about to get some gems. Because at Kennesaw State, this is what we have to sell. This is why I'm telling you it's possible, because the GOAT, I watched them do it. Listen to what he's about to say. This is mission critical, because we all got to be on one accord. This is mission critical.
we got to get in early. We got to build a relationship early.
Yeah. Yeah.
Human beings buy with their eyes.
Mm.
We need people who buy with their heart.
Come on, man. Come on, man. What have I been telling you guys from the time, whether it's our coach or the kids that we're recruiting? This needs to be our model right here. Cannot buy with your eyes.
Recruiting war with Presbyterian. Because I was fighting off North Florida.
Good
Coach,
grief.
I knew it. First time I saw him, 8 minutes. Said, stop the scrimmage. I reached out his hand. I said, son, you want a scholarship to Florida State? He was trembling like that. I said, yes, sir. I said, where your mom at? Coach, but when he committed to us, see, at Florida State, we're an ACC program, but we got to get in early. We got to build a relationship early.
Yeah. Yeah.
Human beings buy with their eyes.
Mm.
We need people who buy with their heart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some people, bushes and buildings, they get excited about them. And I don't know why, because you can't take bushes and buildings home. But some of these schools, they got all the bells and whistles. We're a big time program.
Right.
But we're still growing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't have the tradition of, Kansas and Kentucky.
Right.
We're still
Right.
growing. So people see that and they get excited. Human beings, they buy with their eyes.
Man, what I've
Ding, 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 ding. Hey, listen. What he just described, what CY just described, is where we are at Kennesaw State today. We are a big time program, but we're still growing. We're still growing. Like CY said, there aren't all the bushes and buildings. You're not going to walk into that men's basketball locker room and be blown away by what you see. You're not walking into that weight room and being blown away by what you see. You're not walking into a 3,000 seat arena and being blown away by what you see. But we got to sell. You can't take these bushes and buildings with you anyway. There's legacy at stake. We are a big time program, but we're still growing. You can't buy with your eyes. First NCAA tournament ever where you bought in at 1-28. Where you bought in year one. You can't buy with your eyes. We can't make this decision with our eyes. We can't get too cute. It's a gut check. It's a heart check. I'm telling you, this change is going to come with adversity. I promise you it will. I promise you it will. I'm going to tell you something, man. I love all of these guys. I probably know Chad Dollar probably better than any of the rest of the guys that is in the mix. I would be thrilled. Haven't had a chance to talk to Chad lately, but I'd be thrilled if he was in the mix. Not in the mix, but if he was our new head coach. But I'm going to tell you something. Between Chad and Yacht, man, if we pass on Yasir Roseman, I told you, man. I told you, if CY is Beyonce, Yasir is Rihanna. We're going to get an announcement. We're going to get an announcement here soon. I'm here Friday. We could wake up tomorrow with a new head coach. We could wake up tomorrow with a new head coach. Will you buy with your eyes? Or will you make a hard decision about where we are as a program? Will you go ahead tonight as we get off this stream and go put your $50 deposit down and get that season ticket? I did. I'm already locked in. You got to know it. You got to know where we are as a program and where we going. But the thing I can't iterate more, I can't say this any more than I've already said it. We are needed to make this run that we are about to make. The program needs us to be a part of it. We got to be locked in. We have to make this a tough place to play. It has to be impossible to win in a convo. The kids that we have on this team deserve it. It can't come to, oh, I don't like the selection. You know, has Overton not earned our trust yet? Does hiring the coach that takes us to the first NCAA tournament, Division I tournament ever, not buy you any credibility? For me, it does. When I see the names involved, I see a guy playing chess, not checkers. I see a guy playing chess, not checkers. Those are great names. These are big time, man. Dollar, Yasir, McCray, Petway. Hey, man. Hey, man. Go, hey man, go Google these guys' salary. Go look at these positions and the conferences and where they've come from. I don't want to forget Fletcher. He's not a throw-in. He's not a throwaway. I have heard it may not be Fletcher. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if that's true. Hey, by the way, man, hey, listen. Hey, man, y'all can't be going at these journalists and be like, hey, man, Love of the Game already told us who it is, man. Go to bed. Hey, Goodman, go to sleep. We already. Hey, man, y'all wild for that, bro. Y'all wild. Man, I am not. I can't tell you for sure. These guys are my friends. Yasir Roseman is somebody I consider to be a friend. Chad Dowler is somebody I consider to be a friend. I'm not calling them and asking them if they get in the job, bro. Me and my friends, we don't like, we talk, like, I don't, like, we're not even talking basketball all the time. You know what I mean? No, I'm not asking them that. I heard about a high school coach that may be going to coach college basketball. I didn't call him neither. All of this stuff shakes out soon enough. You best believe me, they will be in place before live period. Which, if I'm not mistaken, that is next week. Hold on, let me see. Yeah. Next week. They'll be in place. I won't have to ask. We could wake up tomorrow with a new head coach. Let's go buy these season tickets. Let's get it in, man. Hey, I'm going to keep this short. We went 2 hours last night. I don't want to end up going 2 hours tonight. I do have some film that I want to go over, but I'll wait until we announce the new head coach, and we'll go over that tomorrow, man. Hey, y'all be good, man. Here we go. Y'all know how we get down. We ain't getting out of here without this. Best believe that. Let's go. Hey, yes, they do, bro. Yes, they do. Hey, man, at least let me interview Overton. Come on now. Easy, man. Here's some fam. Here's. Please stay, TB. Please stay, Tank. Please stay, Cottle. Please. Please. Got a chance to be great again.